A strong currency sounds like success. It sounds like respect, stability, power. When a country's currency rises, headlines celebrate, politicians smile, markets applaud. But here's the uncomfortable truth. A strong currency can quietly damage an economy without crashing it, without panic, without anyone noticing until the pain is already locked in. And the countries that suffer most are often the ones doing everything right. Let's start with a simple question. If a strong currency is so good, why do export-driven nations constantly try to weaken theirs? Why does Japan intervene? Why does China manage its exchange rate? Why do central banks worry when their currency rises too fast? Because strength in currencies is not the same as health. Imagine you run a factory. You make something the world wants: machines, software, textiles, electronics. Last year, $1 bought 100 units of your currency. This year, $1 buys only 80. On paper, your currency is stronger, but your product just became 25% more expensive to foreign buyers without you changing anything. Same factory, same workers, same quality, less demand. That's the first crack. A strong currency makes exports less competitive, quietly, automatically, relentlessly. And exports are not a side activity. In many economies, exports are the engine. They pay wages, they fund innovation, they support entire regions. When exports slow, companies don't collapse overnight. They freeze hiring, they cut overtime, they delay investment. No headlines, just pressure. Now let's flip the perspective. Imports get cheaper. That sounds great. Consumers pay less for electronics, fuel, raw materials. Inflation cools. Living costs feel manageable. But cheaper imports don't come free. They compete directly with domestic producers. Local factories now face foreign goods that are cheaper than anything they can make, not because of efficiency, but because of exchange rates. So domestic production weakens, and once production disappears, it doesn't come back easily. This is how a country can look rich while slowly hollowing out its industrial base. Strong currency, weak foundations. Now zoom out. A rising currency attracts capital. Foreign investors love strong currencies. They buy assets, they buy bonds, they buy real estate. Money flows in, asset prices rise, and this is where the illusion becomes dangerous. Stock markets climb, property prices surge. The country looks prosperous, but much of this wealth is financial, not productive. Factories are harder to run. Exports are weaker. Jobs shift from making things to managing money. The economy tilts, and once it tilts far enough, it becomes fragile. This is not theory, it's history. Look at countries that experienced rapid currency appreciation. Manufacturing declined, trade deficits widened, financial sectors expanded faster than real output. Growth continued, but unevenly. The pain concentrated in workers, not balance sheets. Now let's talk about debt. A strong currency makes foreign debt easier to service. That's true, but it also encourages borrowing. Governments feel safe. Corporations feel confident. Households stretch. Because when your currency is strong, risk feels distant, until it isn't. If conditions change, if growth slows, if global demand weakens, if capital flows reverse, that strong currency can become a trap. Because the economy underneath is no longer balanced. Exports are weak, domestic production is thinner, employment is more fragile. So policymakers face a dilemma: let the currency fall and admit weakness, or defend it and deepen the slowdown. Either choice hurts. This is why central banks don't celebrate strong currencies. They tolerate them, they manage them, they fear sudden moves in either direction. Now here's the irony. A strong currency often reflects trust. Trust in institutions, trust in stability, trust in policy. But trust attracts capital faster than the real economy can adapt. So the very thing that signals success can create future vulnerability. It's not a crash problem, it's a slow bleed problem, and slow bleeds don't trend on social media. Now, let's address the myth directly. People say a strong currency means a strong country. That's incomplete. A strong economy supports a stable currency, but a rising currency does not automatically strengthen an economy. Sometimes it does the opposite, especially when exports depend on trade, employment, and production, not finance. This is why export-heavy economies fear appreciation. This is why tourism-dependent countries worry about strong exchange rates. This is why emerging markets panic when their currency rises too fast or falls too hard. Because currencies are not trophies, they're tools, and tools can be misused. Now, zoom out even further. In a global system, one country's strong currency is another country's weak one. Exchange rates shift demand, production, and employment across borders. So when one currency rises sharply, pressure doesn't disappear, it moves. Trade deficits widen, political tensions increase, protectionism returns, and suddenly, currency strength becomes geopolitical risk. History shows this pattern clearly. Strong currencies fuel trade deficits. Trade deficits fuel political backlash. Backlash reshapes policy. Not because leaders don't understand economics, but because voters feel the consequences long before economists explain them. And that's the final danger. A strong currency masks problems until they become social. Wages stagnate, manufacturing jobs vanish, regional inequality deepens. People don't blame exchange rates, they blame systems. By the time policymakers react, the damage is already baked in. So no, a strong currency is not automatically good. It can lower inflation, it can attract capital, it can signal stability, but it can also weaken production, distort growth, and quietly erode resilience. Strength without balance is not strength, it's exposure. And here's the question most people never ask. If your currency is rising, but your exports are shrinking, your jobs are shifting, and your economy feels increasingly financial rather than productive, is that strength, or is it just a very expensive illusion? Because currencies don't collapse when they're weak, they collapse when everyone believes they can't. And the most dangerous moment is when strength feels unquestionable. That's when no one is watching closely. And that's why this topic matters, not once, but every time the word strong is used without asking, strong for whom? If you want clear, honest breakdowns of money and the economy like this, subscribe. New videos every week. Do you agree with this? Or am I wrong? Comment below.